Hey everybody, we are going to be looking at my Flipgrid introduction assignments that I do at the beginning of the semester for students to get to know each other. So my name's Brittany DYBDAHL. I am a health teacher at San Mateo High School. I mostly teach freshmen. However, I do get some upperclassmen mixed in for whatever reason. And I also have a pretty heterogeneous group, by the way. So my objective for my students was to get them to introduce themselves to each other and get to know each other, share a little bit about themselves. And I wanted to do it on Flipgrid because I find that students will share a lot more about themselves or even be willing to get deeper or more vulnerable with each other through the screen. And the second reason is I really wanted to introduce Flipgrid early in the semester because I use it later for some assignments, and it saves me a lot of time because they already are familiar with the website and the app and they know how to use it. So I don't have to continue going over it again and again. And they, like I said, they already are comfortable with it later on when we get to the more serious assignments. So I use the Flipgrid website, which is linked right there. I also linked my assignment guide with some suggestions. So feel free to make a copy of that and use it however you want to. I also welcome any feedback if you add some cool things or features to it that you think that I would like. Please shoot me an email with those ideas. Be great. All right, so I also linked some one of my classes to the right there. And so I just put a screenshot right here, but once you get on there, you should be able to access them and see all of the videos and see the students' responses. In this case, I did let them decorate their pictures with some emojis, but that's a feature that can be turned off later on when, you want it to be strictly the assignment and save some time. So some of the things that I learned about using Flipgrid is that it's really, really important to monitor and moderate. So these are things that you want to be looking at right away. You want to at least check them over. You also want to train your students to report anything that they even have to question or have doubts is inappropriate. Other ways I've used this is instead of having students tell me, what can you say to somebody who you think may be suicidal, I actually have them record conversations in which one person has to play the person who may be considering suicide, and the other person has to show that they have the skill of approaching somebody and saying the correct things. So that's been really cool because they actually have to show me they have that skill rather than just write things down. The other way I've used it is just for them to explain or present things. So they can put the camera on their presentation or on their poster, and then they have to, go through and explain what's going on. That also saves a lot of time with presentations. It's really cool because they can see each other's and then they can give each other feedback. One thing I forgot to mention with the assignment is that they had to not only share about themselves, but they also had to respond to others. So that leads into the next point about class discussions. It's a really great tool for equity of voice. You make your certain requirements, students have to talk and they have to respond to people, and it can be really cool. The other thing too is they can pause their videos and re-record, which is great because they can, look at some sentence frames or sentence starters and use academic language. And if they find that it doesn't flow that well, they can go back and correct themselves. So that's been really awesome. The one thing I do recommend if you're new to Flipgrid is to play around with all of the options. There are many cool features on this. And not to mention just, different things like you can moderate in which students can't see each other's videos, which is totally appropriate for some assignments. Or, at the end, the students can take a selfie and add emojis, which they love. But once again, if you want to take that option off for time or whatever reason, then you can do that. Just some things I was thinking about for other classes is you can, for math, you can actually have them explain what they're doing while they're working out the problem, and make their thinking really transparent. And for English, I think it would be really cool to have the students actually have to read their essays or drafts out loud. I'm always telling my students, read it out loud, make sure it flows, make sure it makes sense. And, to hold them accountable to do that is a whole different story. So with them having to record in Flipgrid, you actually see them once they notice that they've made a mistake. They go back and they go, oh, wow, and they kind of see it. You can see even on their faces that they realize things didn't make sense. Anyway, I hope that you learned something new and that this has been helpful to you. I just want to, once again, I've been Brittany DYBDAHL, but I want to shout out to Ora Smithers, who has been absolutely amazing and helpful with all the tech. All right, have a great day.